What is going on, Lambdogians? We are broadcasting from Lambdog 2 Studios. Now, I don't know why I say we. I think we is just fancy talk to make you think that there's more than one person involved. But alas, it is just me. But let's get our Bible study on. Did I spell that wrong? Blue Letter Bible. Blue Letter Bible. Marvy, did y'all hear that? My wife's telephone, which goes dead like all the time, just came back to life. Hopefully it doesn't. It's gonna ring. You know it's gonna ring. Jonah. Now I'd used a Bible Gateway last time, and it seemed to, believe it or not, um, it was it was actually taxing the CPU. So I don't know exactly what uh, Bible Gateway was doing with my CPU at the same time, but we are going to do this way this week. Back with our study of Jonah, and when last we left off, the sailors had chucked our prophet Jonah into the sea. Now, if you if you need to take a look where I was at last week, I will provide a link in the description box, and you can click on that link and find out where we were at last time. And I don't want to do too much back review. Now you'll notice on our Blue Letter Bible page here, as opposed to the Bible Gateway, it doesn't actually give titles of the next story. So we were at probably verse 16, Jonah chapter 1, verse 16. The men on the boat offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. So they actually, in a way, the people on this boat, the fishermen, they acknowledge the power of Jonah's God, which is the Jewish God. And in here we made it to the verse of contention between the atheists and theists. Now the Lord provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Cross references, dictionaries. Let's do dictionaries here on this verse. Nope, that's not what I was looking for. Cross references? Interlinear? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Here we go. So we got Yahweh mana gadal dag balayona yona mia dag shalosh yom shalosh layo. 3 days and 3 nights. I guess the point here is fish. Clicking on it. So called from being so wonderfully prolific. The demonstrative verb to fish. Masculine noun. Rude word. Seems pretty clear on fish. I don't know how it became whale. I suppose if you were trying to, say, justify something with a large interior, that would allow a person under, as I was discussing with Cosmo Gato earlier in the week, if we were trying to justify something in natural law that would allow a person to survive, they may say, well, the inside of say a sperm whale or a large whale would allow enough space for a human being to survive inside. Now, what I've noticed in the past, like from a Sunday school standpoint, and this was true when I was going to Baptist Sunday school as a little one, the pictures you see are almost like Geppetto and Pinocchio in the whale. Almost a story time, and there's plenty of room, and he builds a little fire inside the whale. And again, that's not quite the point. But I mean, it's pretty clear. It doesn't go on to say that we have it's a whale. It mince words. It doesn't say that it is a. It doesn't say that it's a a metaphor or anything. Now we have in reference here, um, fish in the sea. I mean, there you go, Genesis 9:2. So the Hebrew word, dag, I mean, it's fish. In context, it is fish. No, like, nothing about it. And so, I mean, it's not mincing words. Okay, so next chapter? Are we on the next chapter? Or is it the next book? No, we're not next book. Although the minor prophets are very interesting. Um, From inside the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord his God. He said, in my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. You know what's interesting about that? I believe Jesus says that very same verse later on in the New Testament. But in a way, this is almost Jonah's psalm, which it's beautiful and tragic, and it involves a man reconnecting with his faith. Um, so let me do this without interruption. Um, and you know what this reminds me of? You know, in that movie Saving Private Ryan, when everybody's complaining about going on the mission and everything, and then the sniper, he he says, "Sir, if I may say, this is a serious misallocation of military assets." And then you know, Tom Hanks's character, the captain, says, "Now you see that, Ryben? This is how you complain. Go further." And then he goes on, you know, gives his range of the thing. He's like, "Now this is how you complain." So I mean, in a way, you know, maybe this is how you pray. He said, in my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. You hurled me into the depths, into the very heart of the seas, and the currents swirled about me. All your waves and breakers swept over me. I said, I have been banished from your sight, yet I will look again toward your holy temple. The engulfing waters threatened me. The deep surrounded me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. To the roots of the mountains I sank down. The earth beneath barred me in forever. But you, O Lord my God, brought my life up from the pit. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayers rode to you, to your holy temple. Those who cling to worthless idols turn away from God's love for them. But I, with shouts of grateful praise, will sacrifice to you what I have vowed I will make good. I will say salvation comes from the Lord. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Interesting thing about prayer, for a moment. You know, when we all sit down to a meal and we pray before a meal, you know, in our minds, every time, are we talking to the Almighty Creator, or are we talking to the people around us? You know, my dad was very quick whenever whenever it became my responsibility to do you know, to do the blessing of the mealtime. He was very quick to point out, hey, you need to not turn this into a lecture to the people around you. It's like you are speaking to the Almighty Creator, and you need to keep that in mind. But I love chapter 2 of Jonah. You know, as a person trying to follow the way, who has backslidden many times, to see somebody in the ultimate of distress return to his salvation is just a beautiful subject. And with that, we'll leave off on this chapter. And any questions, comments, complaints, please feel free to share them into the comments. I always welcome any comments. Agree, disagree, you know. Tell me hi, bye, kiss my butt, whatever you want to do. But thank you for joining Lambdog Sunday School this fine Sunday, and hope you all have a great day and enjoy the rest of your weekend.